Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Another weekend, and guess what? Another storm. It's 7 o'clock on Saturday the 29th of February. As you can see from the weather outside, we've had lots of rain again this week, and it's continued overnight and into today. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to get it done, but let's find out. Well, here we are, just arrived down the land. As you can see, it's been very wet overnight, and the forecast for a third storm in a third weekend this weekend, so that's not great. It's actually not too bad right now. It is raining, but it's not huge amounts of rain, and I do have the option of doing things inside the cabin rather than outside if I want to. Everything looks to be fine with the cabin, particularly the roof on the extension. There is, as you can see, a bit of standing water, and there's actually some in the pond for a change. But main concern has always been during the extension build the roof, which looks to be absolutely fine. So we'll see what we can get done today. There's a few bits and pieces I'd like to do inside, lots of things I'd like to do outside. A guttering would be a good start on this extension, though I'm not quite sure I'll get that done today, but I can always measure up. I do want to see what I've got in terms of stocks of wood and perhaps get that inside, so I'm not messing about with tarpaulins every time I come down. And I would like to get some raised beds in next to the polytunnel, but I'm, as always, dependent on the weather, and it's not looking particularly great, and certainly the forecast is not great this weekend. Anyway, enough talk. Let's see how it is inside. Must do something at some point about this area outside the cabin extension. It is entirely down to me that it's like this, because I've been trailing backwards and forwards in my boots for weeks on end, churning up the grass. Hopefully it will come back, but at some point in the future there will be a little path going down here. But I'm getting far too far ahead of myself for now. Let's get myself settled in and see what we can achieve today. It is really nice to come to this extension and see a lovely dry floor. I can't believe the difference. That noise is my neighbour's geese, who have clearly seen me and perhaps are wondering, am I going to feed them? Sadly not geese, I'm afraid. Yeah, so really nice to be inside in the dry after weeks and weeks and weeks of being outside in the rain. Roof has held up. I do need to trim off that expanding foam I put in. Not sure if I'll get that done today. I'm not entirely convinced that I have a tool suitable with me to do that, and there are far more pressing things to do. I do want to finish draft proofing that little patch that I couldn't get done because I ran out. I did buy some more, so we'll get that done certainly today. Also want to tot up what wood I've got and get that moved inside here, with a view to putting in internal wall where this temporary support is, and some kind of a workbench affair down this side here. But anyway, let's get the original cabin unlocked, get myself sorted out, and get started doing something instead of just talking about it. There's a cheeky little squirrel sat on the feeder, and I'm only probably about 50 feet, 60 feet away. I was just coming to check to see what was on there, and he's either very oblivious or very hungry. Given the amount of food that's there, he can't be hungry. But it's a nice little site. I'm guessing as I get close he's going to get spooked and go, but let's see. Yep, now he's seen me. He's not going though. He must think I'm bluffing. There's one last piece of nut perhaps. He's got to go now. Yeah, there he goes. Very nice. One thing you'll probably remember, I lined out the interior of the original cabin with this, it's actually fairly thin plywood sheeting. It's a bit dark in here because I boarded the windows up for a storm a few weeks ago and I've not taken those down yet until I'm sure that everything's okay, and I've got some shutters made. But one thing I did want to do, I have some of the original, it's actually this colour, lighter oak colour stain left. I may as well use it up, and a good place to use it up would be on the inside of the cabin because it is lighter than this cedar colour that I've put subsequently on the exterior. So I'm going to get cracking and get some of that done while it's still raining. Hopefully the rain will ease off and I can get something done outside, but I'll keep myself busy in the meantime with this little job. Well, we're slowly getting on. You can hear the rain on the roof. I can't tell you how nice it is to be out of the weather for a change. Slowly cracking on with using up this paint or wood preserve. I've actually done the gable end nearest the door. You can see some intriguing patterns in there. It's not the paint, it's the plywood that's giving the pattern. So I'm just busy cracking on with that. As I said, it is nice to be out of the rain. This is a job that's wanted doing just to seal this wood, so it's nice to be able to get on and do it. I'll give you a progress update later. Well, it's really coming down outside now. This rain's not giving up at all, it's just getting heavier. But we are making some progress with the painting the inside of the original cabin. It's slowly coming along. Difficult to see in this light, but we are slowly getting there. Plenty of things I can be doing to potter inside while this weather is throwing it down as it is. I'll just have to wait and see what happens with it. If it eases off later I can get something done outside. If not, I'll just carry on doing little bits inside here. Well, that's the inside of the cabin painted out. It's been a bit of a fiddly job, but it's on, which is the main thing, and it'll just help protect the wood. I'm in two minds as to what to do with the roof. I don't know whether to paint it with this existing wood preserve or whether to put some lighter kind of house paint, emulsion paint on it. Not quite sure, but I'll worry about that another day. But for now, that's the inside nicely painted out, so that will do, and we'll go and get cracking with something else. Bit of a fiddly job there, trimming the expanding foam out of the corrugated sheeting. but it is done. It wasn't an absolutely must-do job, but sometimes, you know how it is, you get that kind of OCD thing going on. You just feel you have to do it, even though it isn't really necessary. Well, it was one of those jobs. I'm just going to set about this last bit of draft-proof membrane that needs to be done, so I'll get that out of the way. It's actually stopped raining, so fingers crossed I might get outside and do a little bit, but I'll just finish this inside off first. Well, the rain has stopped, but the wind has returned, which is not great. Thankfully I'm busying myself inside while the weather does what it wants to do. Little odd jobs. I got that last bit of draft proofing installed, and I'm just busy with another little project. If you've watched my previous videos when I did the original cabin, you'll recognise that insulation. I'm insulating this corner only. All will become clear in future videos as to why I'm doing this, so I'll just keep you hanging on to make you watch the future video to find out why I'm insulating just this one little piece of the extension. Well, that's the insulation in, so all I need to do now is put some of that draft proof membrane over to hold it in place. Well, that's the insulation in and covered up, so that's good. You will definitely find out why I've done that in a later video. It's a bit of encouragement there to keep you watching. Believe it or not, the rain has stopped. The wind has died down a little bit, but we've actually got some sun. Unbelievable. It's going to take a while to dry out the field, but it is nice to just see it. So maybe I can get a little bit done out here. I'll just finish off tidying up in the cabin and we'll see what we can get done. I clearly spoke too soon because the sun has disappeared and the wind's picked up again, but I can't believe it's gone 12 o'clock already. It feels like I've only been here 5 minutes. So I'm just going to grab this coffee and then I'll see what I can get done. I'm just busy on trying to make some raised beds out of this scaffold board. It's been difficult to video it because the wind's picked right up again and it keeps blowing the camera over, but just to give you an idea, this is the kind of thing that I'm busy making. The idea is to have, I don't know, maybe 6 of these. And then when I get started in the polytunnel, I can transplant out into these raised beds. I'll also be able to put some netting around them as the plants grow to keep off butterflies, which I had a real bad experience with last year. And probably more important here, the local wildlife, because the woodland there is teeming with rabbits and squirrels and all manner of critters. So apologies for not being able to do much videoing, but as I say, the camera just keeps falling over. I just heard something in the background fall over. I'm guessing it's a box of screws. A tripod there blown over. But anyway, I'll keep cracking on. I haven't got that much time left because A, the weather is closing in, and B, it's getting late. I can't believe how quickly the time passes, but that's what we're on with. Well, I've got 3 of them done, and I think that's as far as I'm going to go today. I need to figure out how to get them levelled up. They are spaced in exactly the right place where I want them, but you can see the ground needs levelling. And I probably need some weed membrane underneath them as well. Black clouds are coming over, sun's dipping. I can't believe how quick the time's passing. We just had, about 10 minutes ago, some hailstones, which is a bit bizarre, but then we are having a really bizarre year. I think for now I'm going to start getting tidied up because that wind is definitely getting stronger in those trees, and I need to get all my wood put away, so I'll just do that and then I'll be about done. You know that I can't resist doing one last job, so I've just had a little wiring session, and we've got lights in the original cabin, which is very nice. Little LED units. The trouble is, I don't know how much light they're really giving off. It's hard to tell. But we've got progress with electrics. It's a temporary fix. It's running off my battery box rather than panels, because I haven't got the panels down here yet. But it's nice to see that it works. I don't want to have to be raving off roof panels, so at least I do know that they're working. Well, that's it, everything's away. Cabin is all closed up for the day. All my wood is put away and covered up. I don't know where the time goes, I really don't. It's gone 4 o'clock already. Little raised beds. I need to produce a few more of those, and I need to put some membrane down to stop the weeds coming up, and they can get filled then as and when I get the polytunnel up and running. So, a bit of a fiddly day, a few nice bits done. Weather just is unbelievable. It just comes and goes, wind, rain, and now as I'm leaving, believe it or not, the sun is actually peeking out. It's bizarre, it truly is bizarre. There is supposed to be another storm on the way tonight, so I guess we'll see what happens tonight as to whether or not I can get anything done tomorrow. But for today, that's it. I'm off home for some dinner and a shower.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. How's it all coming along? What about those raised beds? Would you do them differently, or would you not bother even with raised beds? I am thinking of doing a lot of growing in pots, so the raised beds are just really there for stuff that won't actually go in the pots. But let me have your thoughts in the comment section below. And for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.